So just so that you know that I'm a dummy, I thought it was a cute idea to take my drone up on a mountain to do a review today. And it's New England and April and 20 degrees because New England's the worst. Today I'm showing you guys the Parrot Anafi. It's a French company that has been designing drones for a little while now and seems to be the last remaining competition for DJI that's offering any form of quality, at least. And you know it scared DJI because as soon as the Parrot Anafi came out, they had to release their own better version of it with the Mavic 2 Pro. But it remains to be more than double the price for similar features. It's the first drone of this level that allows you to pivot the camera gimbal up and down, and the camera angle to change, and to actually look up and not see the propellers at any point ever. The arms of the drone are spread out enough so that they never get in the way. It's as simple as that. Even then, the propellers are somewhat transparent. It also offers a sort of software-based HDR effect. It's not exactly true HDR, but it's somewhat effective. And depending on the time of day or the style you're going for, it can be a somewhat nice look. The footage offers 4K at 30 frames per second, not 60. But it does offer 60 frames per second if you shoot in 1080. It has a lot of software-based features that don't necessarily come straight away with the camera. Things like smart dronies and flight plans and things like that. Though I did download these and they were only $1, which I kind of wonder why you have to pay just $1 to unlock this feature. It's kind of weird. They're not going to make tons of money off of it, but I'm not going to complain either because it only adds $2 to the price. It's just an odd feature to, you know, only charge a little bit extra for something like that. I'm wondering if they're doing it just sort of test the waters to see how important it is to people, whether future drones should feature it or not. But regardless, you can get them, and I did, and I tested them, and some of them are a little odd. The ones that come naturally with the FreeFlight 6, which is Parrot's remote control software for your phone, some of the native features of the app are excellent and work really, really good. But some of the additional ones can be a little bit tricky. They don't seem perfect yet. When I was doing the flight up here, naturally being up on the mountain offers a few advantages and disadvantages. One, there's a cell tower right there. Had a ton of interference with it right away. I moved a few hundred feet this way and it's a lot better, but there is interference there. The terrain is uneven, so some of the features made it seem to want to go down into the mountain because it's not flat surface. So it seems like some of them work better when you're on flat terrain as opposed to things like mountains and everything. But some of the other features like Follow Me seem to do just fine when they have an exact subject to keep track of. The Follow Me works really good, surprisingly good. Smart Dronies doesn't, and it's a different type of Follow Me type feature. I couldn't get it to work properly, so I don't know if that matters to you, but one of the coolest features I think is Cameraman, where on the screen of your phone you can highlight the subject of pretty much anything. It could be you, it could be a feature of a building like a window or something, or in the corner of a house or something, and then it will track that subject, and then you just move the drone around, and no matter what angle you're moving the drone, provided you don't go too fast, it'll track it and then make some really cool shots. And since this drone has the ability to move the camera up and down, it can take the shot at almost any angle, which is awesome. It is like really, really awesome. So that one worked good. Now you can operate it just with your phone, or you can use the controller that comes with it. The controller is really, really good. It charges by USB-C, and you can get probably close to 5 flights on a single controller charge, so that should last you a while. And that depends on the conditions, how hard it has to push a signal and things like that, but it outlasts the battery a few times over for sure. The battery life of the drone is pretty decent. It's rated at 26 minutes, which for drone batteries you should always take with a grain of salt, because that depends on the weather, the conditions, how hard the drone has to fight the weather, the conditions, and how fast you fly it. So it's almost never 26 minutes unless it's like just hovering in the air in stillness. So yeah. But it is very competitive with everyone else's drone batteries, so not bad. Altitude, it's kind of funny because you can turn off the geofencing, which is like, you know, letting it go past the legal limit of 400 feet. But even past that, when you turn that off, it still doesn't let you get past 500 feet. And that's 500 feet from wherever it took off from. So I'm on a mountain that's 1,100 feet, so I could fly it 1,500 feet or 1,600 feet. And yeah, that's fine there. The max distance? I've been able to get it to go about a mile and a half or so. At best. That's in the best conditions, which are hard to do. If you're on a mountain that doesn't have any radio signals and you have clear open fields behind you, you can send it far away. Today, I got it to about half a mile. And yeah, but that shouldn't concern you too much because legally you're not allowed to fly it past where you can see it, and since it's a small drone, it's hard to see it, you know, anywhere near that distance. So for legal reasons, it's as far as you should take it, but it doesn't have the furthest distance in the world when it comes to drones of this size in nature. But it would definitely will take you really, you know, far enough. Definitely beats the Spark, which is the same price. It does have a few different like camera filters that you can cycle between. I like to leave it on P-Log, which is important to a lot of people who want to use this for cinematic purposes. It's a very flat profile that you can record and then add your own LUTs or presets or filters or anything like that, which is really important to people who edit video on this. If it's just for vacation, just for travel, there's a few others like natural light, intensity, and one that's kind of like a retro look that's like heavily Instagram filter-y, and I'm not really a fan of that, but it's there for you if you don't really care to edit your colors. As for the camera's really good. You can shoot it in DNG, which is the type of RAW. The size of that file is really big. It's like 40 megabytes or so, and you can edit it in Lightroom, and it's a really good quality. When you shoot it in RAW, it will go no crop, it'll go as full as it can, and you can't zoom, which shouldn't matter because the quality is there for you, and then you can you know, edit yourself. It does have a little bit of camera distortion, which if you have Lightroom, there are presets for Parrot, so you should be all set. But if you're relying on camera photography or anything like that, and you want to shoot in RAW, this will be perfect for you. But it also has, you know, your standard JPEG and PNG, and it can shoot in rectilinear if you don't want to have the hassle of dealing with Lightroom. So it has a little bit of something for everyone. Now the size of the drone is awesome because of how small and compact it is. Like, look at the size of this case. I like the size of this case because it fits with backpacks really well. The width of it and how skinny it is, it can go at the bottom of a backpack and fit just perfectly. And then it's a hard case, so things, you know, you can put things on top of it as long as you're careful, and it's not really a big deal. It also fits in camera bags really well, and it just doesn't have an awkward shape, and I like that. It's kind of like Tetris when you're dealing with camera bags, where a line piece can be a little more helpful than some weird oblong thing. So as far as the real estate this takes up in a camera bag, I think I prefer it over DJI. The one problem is that the case that it naturally comes with does not include the controller. So the controller you have to put in your bag by itself, and the sticks, the thumbsticks don't come off, so you may have some issues banging it up against something. If you buy like the, I don't know, it's like their version of the Fly More, I don't know if it's actually called that, like the bonus pack that comes with extra batteries, it comes with a bigger case that will include the controller, a slot for the controller, so that might be a good idea. And I think it's only like $100 more, and you get a bigger case, an extra battery, which if you buy the batteries alone is $100, and it's still not as much as the Mavic Air. There are a few ND filters that you can get for this. In fact, I shot a little bit with an ND filter on it, Word to the wise, if you put the ND filter on beforehand, when you turn the drone on and it does all its calibration and everything, it will kind of block some of the calibration, and then it'll tell you that there's something blocking the camera, and then you won't be able to move it. And that's kind of a pain. So let it do that and then apply the ND filter, just so you know. Speaking of which, this is actually my second Parrot Anafi. My first one, I got about 3 or 4 flights in, and then there was a camera error where it said that there was something blocking the camera, and it would not allow me to fly. Or actually, it would allow me to fly, it just wouldn't allow me to control the camera. And no matter how many resets I did, it just wouldn't fix it. And I was kind of annoyed, kind of disappointed. I was hoping that this wasn't going to be a real issue, but here's where we get into the part about Parrot's customer service. And their customer service is fantastic. I called them up, told them the problem. They asked me for a few screenshots of the camera error message on my phone to send pictures of the gimbal and the drone, and I did. I sent just a few, and then they immediately sent me a shipping label and said send it back to them, and then they'll send me a brand new one. And I did, and he told me keep the batteries, keep the controller, the accessories, just send us the drone back. And I was like, okay. So I sent it back to them and expected just to get like, a shelled out drone and then put everything back on. But they sent me a whole new kit. So I actually got a bonus battery out of it and controller and all that stuff. And they were just really fast and really nice about it. So their customer service was great. I know I've heard a lot of people complain about DJI's customer service, and I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's just because of their high demand or what, but Parrot treated me really, really well. So I appreciate them. My new drone has worked great ever since they sent it back to me. I haven't had any issues with it. Yeah, it's been great. They also send you spare props in case you smash it into something, which I did. And then the props are pretty easy to replace. So, oh, one more thing. The small USB Type-C cable they send you, it's like a 1-foot cable. It might be shorter than that. That one isn't the best quality. You're gonna probably want to get a spare cord, because the one they send you gets kind of loose after a while when you connect it to a phone, and then you'll have problems not being able to use the controller with your phone and use the screen, and that's kind of a bummer. So I'd recommend getting a better quality cord so that when this does happen, you won't have to deal with the problems that I did. And the absolute best part of this drone is the price. I got mine for $550, and you can get a Spark with the controller at that price, and the Spark just doesn't add up. It shoots only 1080. It has a 2-axis gimbal. It doesn't shoot 4K. It doesn't have like all the D-Log features, all the camera raw features that this has. So it's just not really worth it at the price compared to the Anafi. And the fact that they inspired the Mavic 2 to come out with the camera that can go up and down and shoot in HDR and all that, and have zoom. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this has zoom. It's digital zoom, but it's still zoom. So and then you can do like the vertigo effect thing. I forget what that's called. I haven't been able to get it to work really well for me personally, but I know other people have. All right, I've had it with this mountain. Now I gotta climb down it. Well, I'll see you guys later.